Hello, I'm Cyber. Over here we have Dansta, and over here we have Tilo. We're gonna run 2 Mile Odyssey today.
Not that long of a run, but there's definitely a lot.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff since we were here last year.
A lot of things.
So first we're gonna set up a glitch, or like an
Before
exploit
the game, actually.
before the game even starts. So here we have a timer. So one guy will play, like Dansta will start with 20 seconds, and then Tyler with 15, and then I'll count down, and then when the count, and then we start the timer.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I am ready.
Are we also ready?
Yeah.
Right.
So just to confirm, like we're not gonna start the real timer yet. We're gonna do that in 20 seconds from when we start here.
Yep. Okay, so
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, now.
Yeah. So the reason we start at different times is he's gonna attempt a trick that we'll explain more later, and I'm not. So
3, 2, 1, go.
all right.
Okay, so the first thing, like you'll probably see right there, is that the game is in Japanese. It's faster, like 90% of games out there. Japanese is the fastest because fewer characters.
Japanese characters.
Yes.
Makes it so it's less text, so the
Yeah.
text scrolls by faster.
Yeah. Cabby will say less things to you when you are in the Odyssey going from kingdom to kingdom, and it saves a bit of time. We're also running on version 1.3, and the version 1.3 actually patched out some of the clips that was in the game, but it also made the load times a lot faster, and overall we're actually saving times on the loads. So here in Cap Kingdom, there's simple things going on, not that much. We did a camera zoom right there, so the camera would go out to get the bridge up faster.
We also use a lot of motion controls in this game.
Yes.
To maintain our speed. For every roll there is a
So right there, both did just a spin throw. It's a bit faster than just throwing normally, and right there, capturing the frog, a spin throw is actually also a little bit safer, because the cap could come off the frog if you just hit it normally. So now left side will come out. It's the first hard jump in the run, but it shouldn't be that hard, but of course commentator's curse could come in,
indeed
as we
it
see
is.
with Tylo. So here we have Topper, the first boss in the game, even though that he's pretty simple. But he's made to be simple, so that's fine. So that was Cap Kingdom. A good Cap Kingdom time here is 2 minutes and 17, 18. That would be a really good Cap Kingdom, but we're gonna see the
16
time.
would be really good.
2:16 would be really good, yes.
All right. We also the fastest way to get speed or momentum in this game is by doing a spin pound, which is what we did in the very beginning once we gained control of Mario. So yeah, that just maximizes Mario's speed right away, and we pretty much do that everywhere.
So here we will see after we get the first moon, Dansta will actually go for a skip called DSS, and that stands for Dino Skip, because we actually skip the dino. So it's a really inventive name, gotta say. He will effectively try to get a triple jump, and then go off the wall and land on a very specific pixel to get a jump off that little thing. You can actually see just a tiny speck in the wall where we will try to jump up. It's a really hard trick coming up.
It's very hard, so I'm actually not going to attempt it, which is why I started my timer.
Yeah, he started his in like a switch timer a little bit later. And that's, he got
Wow,
up.
he actually got it.
That's the hard part. That's the hard part. Dansta got the hard part.
That's actually an insanely hard trick. He actually managed to.
I didn't get it a single time in practice.
No.
In the practice runs.
It's actually insane.
So now over on Tylo's screen, we're just gonna do the normal
Dino skip, yeah.
Dino skip. to just get all the way up with the trampoline and go up to the boss fight. So here you can see that like DSS, Dino Skip actually saves a good amount of time actually. It's around 10 to 11 seconds.
10 actually really hard.
Yeah, if you do it optimally, it's 10 seconds, so...
I didn't do the fastest way just to make sure to not fall down after getting the trick, which can happen a lot.
So, a little casual information. This is basically the first boss of the game, and every boss will give us 3 moons, or a trip, or a multi-moon instead of just a regular moon.
And also there's really good jiggle physics. If you look at Mario's nose over on Tylo's screen.
Yeah.
Once you see it, you'll never unsee it. It's amazing.
And in each kingdom we need a certain amount of moons to leave the kingdom, and you'll see like this thing up in the left corner.
You can see on the Dansta screen now the moons come out. There's a little circle without a moon in it.
Get that right now.
So that Dansta just did a chess clip where you use the moon. You fall down into water, but he can just do an up throw and get to the Odyssey right there. Tylo will go for he will not go for chess clip, so he will just take the safe moon up on the balcony up here.
It only saves half a second to do.
Yeah, it's not that that
And
much.
not always that easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so that was the first 2 kingdoms of this game.
So now the timer that we set up will actually come into play. We will come into sand here shortly after we talk to Cabby, and then we will plant the seed. And after we plant the seed, we'll get 2 other moons and then go into the pipe. And while we're in the pipe, the switch will then do daylight saving. So it will skip 1 hour forward, and then that will make the seed grow instantly when we are out. So we should probably see it here. Dansta didn't get a fast action guide skip there, so it's
almost random and saves 1 second.
Dansta got it like perfectly in practice, and then just like
4 out of 4.
Yeah.
4 times in a row. See if I can get it. Yeah.
Tylo actually got it there,
yeah.
so you could see that the Cabby just started talking
Right away.
really fast.
Hope I'm not too fast for DSTA coming.
Dansta did a little save, so normally he would start 25 seconds behind, but this time he only started 20 seconds behind, and because he got the skip, he could actually be too early, but I think it should be good.
Yeah, it's good.
So you will see now that Dansta will jump down, and there, the moon is instantly there for us to grab. And that was the glitch that we set up before we even started the run.
Yeah, in reality it would take over like 20 minutes for it just...
We basically manipulated the time to skip 1 hour ahead, so the seed thinks 1 hour passed, but actually it just saved.
And both runners got it there.
Daylight saving.
The time window is like still pretty open, but if you make like some good mistakes, like massive mistakes up to that point, you could actually miss it, and that would be a huge time loss.
You might have seen that during the boss fight in Cascade Kingdom, we actually grabbed a lot of coins. This is because we need to buy a moon later.
Yeah, in Wooded Kingdom we have to buy a moon, and for that you need 100 coins. And because we're doing the new route, we don't go into the Sphinx room where you just get like a lot of free coins. So we have to do a little bit of coin farming, but luckily everything is just readily available. Right here we saw Dansta. He's doing he's doing Bram Strat, where you hold the cap out in the air, and then you collect the moon, and while you collect the moon you take Cabby so he goes up to the bullet bill. And we also see Tylo going for it now. Then you can just up-warp up to the bullet bill, saving quite a bit of time actually. That's also going for single bill here, where you let the bullet bill go out in a specific pattern. You go out, you get the moon, you'll come back for the bullet bill. You can see Tylo going for it here. Then the bullet bill will actually turn around and come back to you while you go over to get it. And then you can go over to the pillar in the distance and get the moon. Both runners got it, nice. We also have a donation, so that could be a good time right now.
Sure. We have $10 from Mendgoat saying, always look forward to the unique runs in ESA. Glad to support my European friends. And that donation goes to naming one of the characters in Darkest Dungeon, Northern Lion. We still have some characters to be named, so if you want your name in this particular game that's coming right up after Super Mario, make sure to donate.
Thank you for that.
So originally you actually have to complete like this sub area to get down or to get up to this moon, but you just kind of skip that by using the bullet bill.
So now we come up to the infamous tree in Sand Kingdom last moon. Getting a first cycle on this with only one spin throw is pretty precise actually, so...
I think I'm ahead of PB
Wow.
because I got DSS.
Oh, so close.
Wow.
So close to getting it there.
Sometimes you can get a very bad cycle with the gap, so sometimes it just... Or you're just too slow.
So the next kingdom that will come up is Lake Kingdom. And it's pretty chill kingdom, but there's like one clip that's pretty hard in the kingdom, so that's the only highlight in that kingdom basically.
Yeah. The Zen route used to be very different from before when we used the 1.0 route. As Cypher explained earlier, there used to be a lot of clips that we used to use, but because of 1.3 it's now patched, and 1.3's loads are faster, so now the route is basically...
Yep. Dansta getting a instant momentum cancel into a spin pound. Just saves a little bit of time there. So Dansta will come out to Lake Clip now. So he will looking for a specific point on the wall, throw the cap, and then go inside the wall, and then do a lot of movement out of bounds basically. So you'll see it. And that's getting it there, nice. Tilo also coming up to it. Both runners getting it nice. So we also see could be kind of hard to just see right there with Tyler also going, but Dansta actually switches to the Joy-Cons to actually get a down throw, even though he got a spin throw. But he switched to the Joy-Cons to actually just be able to do a down throw.
Because for some reason that's not possible with the Pro Controller.
Just Nintendo was like, nope, not on the Pro Controller.
I'll be showing what strats to use with the Pro Con. Just do that.
It's like pretty much equal in speed.
Just preference, really.
So the last of Lake Kingdom is just getting one last moon, and then we're out of here. So a donation now could be pretty good.
Of course, we have $15 from Ultrasaur saying, Super Mario Odyssey hype!
Hype!
Awesome to see these two great runners to beat this game. Thumbs up for Zyper, also for good commentary. Keep up the good work.
Good job, Cypher.
Thank you.
Lake Clip actually saves like around 5 seconds over the old route we used to do, where we just grabbed a couple of moons and then went up to the boss. Don't do that anymore.
So now we'll come into Wooded Kingdom. It's probably one of the first harder kingdoms. Of course now with Cascade having a DSS, it's pretty hard, but the first big kingdom are that's also really hard in the route. Basically just the flower kingdom also. So normally the casual route you would go down and you would talk to a Sphinx, but we're gonna actually go around that because Sphinx is slow. He doesn't even give a moon in this kingdom, so we're gonna go around, actually do a tree route, and also clip inside a wall and go out of bounds again in this kingdom. So
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes on in this kingdom.
yeah,
This kingdom is definitely one of the ones that has changed the most over the years.
But that's what we need the 100 coins for.
yes.
So usually we barely get over 100, maximum 150.
So Dansta there only having 4 coins left after buying the moon. And most of those coins actually come from like one chest in a Sand Kingdom, so
Yeah, I was talking about Jack's skip earlier. I think.
yep. There Dansta actually took the camera up, so the up route would spawn earlier. Sometimes it doesn't spawn even though you're looking up. Just sometimes it don't want to, but most of the time it should work, and Dansta got it there. So Dansta will come up to Wooded Cliff.
Ah,
Yeah, that should work.
Should work. So that Dansta is doing a backflip and then throwing the cap, so Mario will be tilted, and then when he grabs the moon, he will then clip inside the wall after the animation is done, allowing him to go out of bounds, and then doing some pretty tricky movement. And now the infamous ramp is coming up. It has ended many runs, even though you get the clip.
Yeah.
TiloTech also getting it nice. Or shouldn't speak too early, but looks fine.
I mean, he got the clip.
yeah, that was very scary. I almost bonked inside of that room. And if you bonk into that room, you're basically soft locked. Well, not
Yeah.
soft locked, but you have to warp out.
Yeah,
Basically.
that, like, the moon is inside a little room, and if you get inside there, basically run is over. Like, so
you have to
to
warp back to the
Yeah.
Odyssey, and then climb up again. So I had to delay my dive there.
So here we also skip the Piranha story moon. So by skipping this moon, we cannot do the boss fight up, the first boss fight there's in Wooded Kingdom. But we don't need it to continue to the other kingdoms anyway, so... A donation right now could be pretty good.
Okay, then here I go. We have $10 from Anonymous saying, follow your dreams, but not too much. Actually, I want to counter that because my dream right now is to get $8,500 during this run. Can we do it? I think we can.
It's up to the people watching the stream, I guess.
Ooh. Dansta getting saved by the flower road there.
Uh-oh. Please don't despawn uproot.
Oh. So now we will grab one more moon on a Dansta screen, and then we'll go into the pipes. The pipes has a cycle going for it, like one of the only cycle rooms there even is in the game. Oh, there's a couple of them, but
Not in the route.
yeah, in any percent, that's one of the only cycle rooms. So it can be pretty hard to learn, but after you learn it, it's one of those you pretty much get annoyed if you miss it. So, but it still can be pretty tricky if you mess something up to recover. So
Definitely.
you can also see when you go into the water, we're also not holding any directions, because then Mario will sink instantly instead of like coasting on the surface of the water.
We'll see that more of that later.
Yeah, in a Seaside Kingdom.
Ooh, that was close.
That was very
Oh.
close. Oh yeah. So when you're diving on Cappy, you can either land on the edges, which will give you less speed, Height, I mean. But if you land like right in the center of Cappy, then you will gain more height.
Delay your dive a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes that can be very problematic, especially for those very tight jumps.
Yeah.
See more of those later again.
Do we have time for one quick donation?
Yes.
Yes.
$5 anonymous come to the Darkest Dungeon incentive, naming the character Billy. We still have some characters to be named, so if you want your name in, keep on going with those donations, and we're getting closer and closer to those 8.5k. I think we can do this.
So here we have a Cloud Kingdom where you basically just fight Bowser. So here you want to get over to him pretty quickly, but everything basically lines up if you just start rolling. Dansta will go for the hint art that Nintendo patched in. So he will go out, get the moon here, so he doesn't have to do that in Metro Kingdom, and then just make the cycle to get Bowser's hat.
If you over Bowser's hat while he's about to throw them out, and then throw Cappy, the hats will basically backflip and land right onto Mario.
Yeah. So when the cap then gets active, so Mario can grab it, it's also inside Bowser's range, so he will grab it. But because Mario is there first, he will then get it, and then you can stop Bowser from jumping around by just instantly smacking him.
There's so much more that you could say about Cloud Kingdom, even though it's only one.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's the shortest kingdom in the game, but there's a lot that goes on.
So we have Lost Kingdom. It's So Lost Kingdom is probably one of the more exciting kingdoms for speedrun, I'll say. It at least like my favorite kingdom, I'll say. Maybe Luncheon is also, but it's just Lost is so short, but it's still really action-packed with a lot of cool movement tech being showed off.
Even in the beginning here, we do a trick called Meme Tree to go around the trigger of a bird named Klepto, which will basically steal your hat, and then you have to get it back. This costs a lot of time, so we just go around it, basically.
So that's the whole gimmick with this kingdom, is that normally Klepto will come and take your hat, and then you have to do movement without your hat. But you can just get around him, and if you then go in, we can see dancers coming up to him. If you go into his trigger box where you could then get the hat, then Klepto will not steal your hat when you then get down to all the other moons.
Yeah,
So there we activated Klepto, and then he will not steal your hat now.
The game basically thinks that since you were next to Klepto, he has your hat.
Yeah. So here the torpedo didn't follow Dansta, so he's just gonna take intentional damage to make sure that the box exploded with the moon in it.
Ah,
Dansta going a little bit too close to the box there, not getting the explosion to hit the moon box.
Dansta.
Tilo. Dansta doing a cool up throw and then diving into Cabby. It looks really cool.
Wow. So there I did a cool trick called cage triple.
Yeah, there's so much going on that
Yeah,
like
there's a lot that goes on.
like when you start out, like a
Lost
cage
is
triple
really
could be
hard.
really hard, but now when like we have been playing this for like over 2 years now, cage triple is not even it's
mean,
not
it's
a
still
highlight
hard,
anymore.
but
It's
yeah.
still hard, but it's not like a highlight anymore, even though it was like 2 years ago.
One of the easier tricks in the run nowadays. There's so much going on all the time. Like, even like right now, I'm like spamming A and B and skipping cutscenes all the time.
Yeah. So you're always doing something.
I like
There's a little bit of downtime where you
like-
can't put your controller down, but it's not that much. It's really an action.
And like right here, I move the camera so I can actually move the camera right out of the cutscene, because originally you can't do that.
And normally the game will lock the camera in most places, but apparently if you hold the controls direction when you go into the cutscene, it will also allow you to control the camera in other cutscenes.
And here we also skip the original path in Night Metro by just going above the building.
So we could do one donation right now, if it's good.
Of course, we have $10 from Trog saying, you know what they say, all toasters toast toast. And we also have $35 from Trial saying, today is a holiday here in America, so I'm home watching with my daughter Matilda. Keep up the great marathon. And also, $50 from Vlad H. Hey chat, can we get a $5 donation train at 25 minutes and smash $8,500? I believe in you. I believe in you as well, so keep on going.
All toasters toast toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So here it was just the inside of Metro, the big building.
and
It
here-
used to be like one of the... This is also one of the only rooms that actually has a cycle going with the platforms, so you have to make the cycle.
I need that checkpoint for later, so when I missed it, I actually have to go back and get it again.
Normally we just do a... it's a spin throw cancel where you go around. And then you just do a wide version of that, so you go around and then also get the flag, but it can be pretty tight sometimes. It's kind of, you have to roll your finger on like 3 buttons to get it.
So this boss actually is kind of RNG, because it has different patterns to take.
Not in the first
Not in the
but
first cycle,
second
but
yeah.
for the second cycle.
But for...
And depending on what that pattern is, it might mess you over and you'll have to do a third cycle. And this costs around 30 seconds, and this is something we absolutely don't want.
you see,
That was a really good
Dansta
pattern.
got a really good Mega Wiggle.
That was not
The
a
body just ate one of his
Yeah.
shots, but
That
still
was-
not a bad Mega Wiggler.
that was a bad pattern, I would say, but I made it work.
I'll say that you can always make all patterns work, but sometimes it can be really hard because the Mega Wiggler can just turn at a weird time, and it can also eat your shots. So
Especially backing it up can be hard.
Yeah, your shots might get eaten by the wiggler and might not hit at all, and then boom, third cycle.
that was the first part of Metro. It was first the night, and now we go into the day Metro.
A lot
Well,
of stuff going on at the start
yeah.
here.
So first it's just basically cutscene to... we only got like 5 moons at the start, but now it opened up a lot of moons in the kingdom.
Here I do the same thing again, where I move my camera before I get control of Mario, so I can do the spin pound right there. And here I throw out Cappy, so that after I grab the moon, I can capture the pylon right away, so I don't have to move back.
You can actually see like both runners tilting their controller because the scooter will actually tilt a little bit more when you are holding it, like basically upside down. Dansta having a little bit of problems here. It is kind of precise because you have to get a little
How
bit
did
of
that not
speed.
work?
There we go.
One of
You
the
have to get a
things-
little bit of
yeah.
speed before it starts tilting, so you cannot just stand beside the case and then just tilt and turn. You actually have to have some speed before you can get the clip.
Exactly.
That took way too long.
So now Metro has actually also gone through some reroutes, and we can see now they will go into the slot room over here on the Tylo side to get a moon here, and then after that we will go into the bullet bill room, and that makes us cut out some other moons, and it's faster.
Yeah, this was a slot machine, and it's actually very tight to do that spin pound right there. If I mess up just like a little bit, then I will miss the cycle and not get the moon. And if I keep messing it over enough times, then I might not have enough coins to do it anymore, and that can be very problematic.
And also this reroute basically comes out of version 1.3 because we do... That's okay, there's a lot of loading zones in this reroute, but because loading zones are faster in 1.3, it makes it viable for us to do. And that's how they did an up throw, and then got Cappy behind the bullet bill from where Mario was. So the bullet bill will hit the hat, and then still be on the opposite side to capture the bullet bill.
That trick is actually very, very precise.
The Dansta also got it there, nice.
I didn't have to do that cap throw dive right there, but I decided to play it safe. So here, I do backflip and dive at certain times, and then I can just backflip. Oh, backflip my way up here, and there I messed up my timing, so I have to do a slow bite.
We'll also see Tilo go for the Luigi hint dart that's right here in the pool, but Dansta doesn't have to go for that because he got it in Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah, the Luigi hint darts give you 200 coins, and we need 100 more coins for a moon in Snow Kingdom. And the hint dart in Cloud is very precise to get, so I decided not to go for it.
So now we just go into the last room to get the two last moons, and then we are out of Metro.
Probably a good time for some donations.
Great, because we have some. Remember about that train, guys, we were talking about? Power Horse donates $5 and says choo-choo! Anonymous donates another $5 and says donation train, let's go! But in the meantime, Kyosote donates $200!
Wow.
And says, hey there guys, greetings from Germany. Let's keep the donations coming and let them mount flying in Horizon Zero Dawn. So, after all, let's save the children. Let's do something good. I'm hyped for the whole event and I will stay until the end. Peace out, Kyo. And that means our train is not coming to the 8.5k station because we've reached it already, so the new destination is 9k. I believe we can do this.
Go for it.
Already so close, guys.
$300. Got this. The upcoming next is Snow Kingdom. Snow Kingdom has some tricks as well. Definitely, especially in the beginning, there is a lot of janky movement that we have to get around. And it's very hard to do fast because of the weird slopes.
Yeah, there's a lot of small bumps in the ground because it's snow, so it's bumpy. So, but you have to roll around them, and you can even use some of them to your advantage, but they can also screw you over.
Like that, for example.
Yeah, landing on a little bump there, getting a little momentum to the right.
I killed him. Whoops.
Yeah, you can talk to Toad here without even breaking the ice, holding him warm inside his little house, but Tilo just like ripped open his house there.
My bad, sorry.
That's only make a little hole for him, so he can patch that up.
He'll survive, I think.
So here we also see Dansta just did a roll cancel off the ledge there, so Mario would continue to go inside the hole, so you don't need to land on the floor and then jump into it. So you can just directly go into the hole and ground pound to go down fast.
Oh, nice.
Tilo got the clip right there outside, so he saved 2 seconds-ish.
If you remember the clip in Wooded, it basically functions the same, where we use the moon animation to clip out of bounds. We use that especially in World Peace and Darker Side categories. We use that to skip doing the story moons, but you can also use it in any percent to skip some movement.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of time, 1 to 2 seconds, but still time saved, so...
Time save is time save. And right there in that room, I used the Blowy Joey's wind to gain momentum, so I can just land right on to that pillar right away.
So here we can see Dansta is getting like a half manip, where one spiny will be left on the platform, and then the camera will zoom in, and then when it zooms out again, it doesn't have that long to travel to get back to Mario. So like IL runners would actually want one spiny to be left, so they can just knock that off when they're like as close to the moon as possible.
And the places that the Goombas stand on is also RNG, but
Yeah, that's one of the only RNG things together with like Mega Wiggler. That's probably like the two major RNG
They
things.
spawn at the same point, but they move.
Yeah, they have RNG movement, but it's usually not a problem.
yeah, you can make it work anyways. You might lose maybe like, I don't know, maybe 0.2 seconds at max, maybe. Unless you mess up, of course.
You can see that Tylo got a fast suck into the pipe there.
A pipe suck.
Yeah.
So right after I bought this moon, I'm gonna attempt something called Snow Jump, which is this trick jump that I can do to get up to the painting moon in snow. Used to be one of the hardest jumps in the game, but thanks to vectors, it's actually way easier.
After a lot of understanding in the game, just playing a lot, understanding the game and getting better, this jump is not like a really hard jump anymore. It's still really tricky though, so. And Tylo getting it there, really nice.
The inputs are very precise. You need to delay all your inputs as much as you possibly can. Nice.
We can also see Dansta going for it here. You'll go up, you'll go into first person to align Mario, so Mario will throw the cap at a precise time.
That's
Then
close.
do
That was very close.
a roll boost into the head. The head will then come back to you, you'll throw it, and then you hit it, and the head will come back to you, and then you have to do a rainbow spin, but you have to do that rainbow spin at a little delayed time, because if you do it right away, you will lose too much speed and height. So you have to wait a little bit to get that, and then jump up to the platform. So there's a lot of tricky movement going on in that one single jump. So now we come into Seaside Kingdom. One of the most chill kingdoms in out of all of them, but there was a new skip with the fish found. It's not new, but yeah, it's kind of a year old now. So everyone has a excuse to practice it, but then everyone realized how easy it is. So
You still have to be careful though. If you're not careful, then
you can still miss it because there is a trigger zone that will push you back, and if Mario is inside that trigger zone, so for speedrunners you want to be really fast, and that can screw you up if you're trying to be way too fast about it.
Oh. So this room is actually like very weird because it's a 2D room, but it's also like kind of 3D, so you can move around.
So basically just Super Mario 3D Land or something like that, where you have those like 2D rooms, but they're still like 3D because the game is in 3D. Kind of the same concept here.
So there in the water, originally you would just like stay up in the water, but actually you can just move around just a little bit, then you'll just sink right down to the bottom with speed as well.
So normally Mario would not sink into the water by himself, so you have to do a little bit to get him to sink directly when he hits the water.
Yeah. So there's actually not too much going on right now. Maybe there is something you can say, the donator guy.
Of course I can. Just a reminder, as you wait for more passengers in our $5 train, every donation counts because we are supporting Save the Children. And as I say it, there's also very important information. While you donate $40 during this run, you are able to win great amount of prizes, including Roa Perler, a very nice perler. I would like to have one myself, to be honest. So if you donate right now $40 or even more, you can just be able to win this particular prize or other prizes. Just check out our site, prizes.esamarathon.com.
We saw Tylo getting the fish to go nearly out of bounds, then going out of it, and then going back into it so the trigger doesn't push him out right away. But Mario also needs to be a little bit far back, because if Mario is inside that trigger, then the Cheep Cheep will be pushed back. So it's kind of weird. But
Yeah,
you get the hang of it after like 2 attempts. So it's not the hardest trick after you tried it.
Yeah, I actually failed it once because I was too close to the Cheep Cheep. You actually need to have some distance for it to work, and I was too close. But failing that trick doesn't lose too much time, thankfully, like the other tricks.
And you can just try again. There's no penalty to failing it.
No.
There is a penalty to clipping back inbounds when grabbing that out of the moon. Then you'd have to go out of that part in the wall and talk to the Sphinx, which would like lose 25 seconds.
So here in the beginning of Luncheon Kingdom, I'm actually going to attempt a very hard jump called Soul Triple. It's very precise, so hopefully I can get it.
You have to jump on the top of the salt, and then on top of that you also have to do a precise cap throw, just at the apex of the jump.
Nice.
So there, Tilo got it.
It is actually very precise. I decided to take the extra safe there.
It's one of those you just miss as even a top runner just sometimes, and you're just like, why? Like,
Sometimes it could look perfect, but you miss it anyways.
oh. Premature cutscene skip over there.
Yeah, I actually thought I had enough speed to make it up there, but I didn't.
It was actually a really close race right now. Both us are inside the cap, the boss fight right now. With Speward. And both of them playing really well, actually. So after this story cutscene, we're gonna go into a room where we're just gonna pick up one moon and then we're out of that again. Probably the shortest sub-room that we're gonna be in. Shortest amount of time in a sub-room.
Also the only room where we actually only grab one moon and then head out again.
And that's because the moon is right behind the wall. And it's also pretty convenient when you get out here. The platforms will rise up, so you can just do a spin pound and boom, then you're out. Just do a cancel around the corner. You can see Dansta cancelling around the corner, just getting a little bit of airtime to go over that little gap. But it's not that hard. Here, this movement going up to this moon is, at least for my part, one of the most fun things.
Yeah.
I really like that movement.
Sometimes your inputs can get happens pretty frequently for me.
So here we have to, on the Dansta screen, we broke the box. You have to throw Cappy out and then wait a little bit before you then dive onto the platform, and then Cappy can go down and take the 1 health that that box has. Dansta will also try for an up throw, an up warp actually. So there you saw Mario was angled, and that's also the same mechanics that makes clipping working. But there we just use it as an up warp. So Mario moves a little bit up, so he doesn't have to jump from the ground. He can just directly go over to the platform and get up.
So the sub area coming up next is one of the sub areas where you need the most motion controls. You'll see me just like shaking the controller all over the place.
It's called Fork's Room, and it's one of the cooler sub-rooms, I will say. When you see a top-level guy just completing this, it's amazing. So now we also will use the Potterboot to jump up all of this candy lava. I don't even know what it is, but...
Cool.
That's one.
So you have to jump off the ledges, the edges, so it will, so you get a little bit more height with the Potterboot. There we also used, at least Dansta, and also Tilo, a mid where you hit Cappy in the middle, so you get a little bit more height, so you can jump from that lower place platform up to the moon that was on top of the big block over there.
Jeez, so easy.
I actually bonked there. Basically, where the Hammer brother throws his pants, or I don't know what it's called anyways, is
Hand
hand bro is random. So But if you
It's
stand close to the cheese, it doesn't really matter where it goes.
This is also one of the changes from 1.0, the version we used to run on, to 1.3 after the update came, where normally on 1.0 you would clip into the moon here, so you wouldn't have to do the cheese. And then when it got patched out, a lot of people were like, oh, because there's RNG in the where the Hambro processes the Panbro processes the pans. So a lot of people dislike it, but it's not the hardest thing.
Including me. Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, that's really bad.
If you went inside.
So I'm not doing the spin throw there.
You can see this meat up here, it has a pretty large hitbox. You just have to get your cap on top of the meat, and then it will just auto-capture it. And then you can just go up here and you get the last story moon, get the three last moons, and then we're out of Luncheon Kingdom.
Now would be a really good time to put any donations in.
Of course, we have $75 from Gabi and Greg. And they say, my wife and I are loving the runs, thanks to the runners, commentators, organizers and audience members. Choo choo! And that being said, this donation, combined with the one that Kiyosota sent us with $200, complete the goal for Horizon Zero Dawn to have a flying mount showcase. So thank you very much for completing the goal. We still have plenty more to go, and we can still continue the train and keep going.
Now we're heading over to Ruin Kingdom, which is basically an all-scroller. Not really a lot that's happening. Basically just a boss fight, almost like Cloud Kingdom, except this one lasts a little longer.
You can lose a little bit of time on the boss fight itself, but it's only in the point something range. You're not gonna lose that much time, so most of the time in like potential time loss in Ruin Kingdom is actually in the start to get up to the first pylon. So it's here where the runners want to have good movement to get up here, and now it's just an auto-scroller to get out of this kingdom.
Of course, you can't mess around too much, because then you lose time, but mostly here you can basically do whatever you want, just to make sure that you complete the fight, I guess.
You can see Dansta just like wasting time on the wall because there's nothing else to do. You can also get the hint art that they also put here. Some people say it's good luck, but some people also say it's cursed, so I don't even know.
No, it's not cursed, you're gonna get it now.
Now you have a little friend to play around with though, so you can use your time on something in this kingdom now, I guess. If you have anything to say, you can say something now. Donation guy, reader.
Of course, I just want to mention that we've just completed the Horizon Zero Dawn showcase, but we still have plenty of incentives, including the one for the next run. The next run is Darkest Dungeon, and we still have some characters left to be named. So if you want your name to appear during the run, make sure to donate for that cause.
That Tilo got a pretty early ground pound there.
That's basically the only
Yeah.
thing you can save time on here.
Yeah.
Getting a good grab, like right when the invulnerability from the pylons that you have to grab out, the only time that you can save is just grabbing them early and then ground pounding early. And other than that, it's just an auto scroller where you just have to get some life to not die, but many people also like to think that this is the Dark Souls, and a lot of people came into this kingdom and just thought, oh my god, I'm just gonna have the best experience ever in this dark kingdom, and then whoop, you're out of there again.
Yeah, it's only
I was probably one of them. So
there are 2 more moons that you can grab before completing the game here, I think. Or no,
Yeah.
the only
one
one,
or two.
there's a chest, and then I only think that
There's like,
after you
there's
beat
like
the
this,
game with
this
the...
rock, I think you can.
I don't even know.
I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't really matter.
It's not useful for
you're not
anything.
we're not gonna see
Because
it here.
you cannot grab any other moons and then leave. You have to beat the boss fight, and the boss fight gives you enough moons to get out anyway. So
Now we're heading into the final section of the game, I would say.
Yeah.
Bowser's Kingdom.
now we only have Bowser's Kingdom and Moon Kingdom left. So only 2 kingdoms.
In Bowser's Kingdoms, there is a lot of cutscenes, but there's still a lot that's going
There's
on.
a lot of action packed inside of Bowser's Kingdom with 3 boss fights, and then also a lot of cutscenes, of course, tied to that. But in between those cutscenes, there's a lot of action. You can see Dansta going on the outside of the wall there. Just saving a little bit of time. Also makes the spin throw line up really nicely. And here both runners turn their camera so they can easily dive onto the guy's weak point. Yeah, the ogre's weak point, and just kill him instantly.
So usually for the other kingdoms, there would be this thing up in the left corner, like I've said earlier, where it would say the amount of moons you need to go for the next kingdom. But here it actually doesn't say that. But we know that we have to grab 2 extra moons with the story moons and the multi-moon that we get here.
The game wants you to think that this is the last kingdom, that's why it doesn't show how many you need to progress.
So now we're just coming up to the shards area, and here there's actually a new route where you go right first instead of getting the first shard that we saw right there. So normally you would go up on the roof now, but Dansta will just go. He will do an up throw here and just get up to the roof like that. It's a bit harder, but also saves a bit of time, of course. So
Nice, that was really good.
getting some nice shots there from both runners, it looks like.
Yeah, I did the old route, so you got to see a comparison. So upcoming next is a trick called Bowser Dram. Dram is basically a word we use for tricks that include like holding out your cap and then using the motion control to capture it later while you're doing something else.
That's what we started calling those tricks, and then it got abused in other tricks.
Like Snow Jam, for
It's
example.
basically just the player didn't want stuff to be called after him, so of course we called everything that has any remote connection to it after him. So
I got it.
So here, with that pylon that Tilo just went out of, you actually have to hold a very specific angle, and then you can dive right out of it and go directly to the other pylon. You saw Dansta, he actually went forwards there, where Tilo, he got the perfect angle to go out to the other pylon directly. Here, with Harry Head, you have to, most people go into first person. You can also do it without, but it's really, like, you have to go into first person, I'll say. It's a lot safer. Line up so that Cappy will be in a precise place. So you can just hit the bomb right back at her right away. And then we also just have a Topper, the second boss fight in this kingdom coming up. But I think a good donation could be good right now.
Of course, we have $50 from Dangers. Greetings from Canada. Though I'd show my support for Save the Children during the Odyssey race to show some love for the Odyssey boys. Nice work on the showcase, Dansta, Tylo and Zyper, and good luck on the runs.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dangers.
Oh my god, so close.
You can see Dansta messing it a little bit up, and then there's like 1,000 heads going around, and it's basically impossible if you don't get it right away to know what head it is. You can hear it actually because he will make a noise when he comes, but there's probably still like 8 heads around you when that noise comes, so it can still be pretty hard to identify.
Like, I know which head he is in when it starts moving, so I just focus on that one at the start, then keep on looking at that one.
So now I'm gonna grab my second extra moon in this kingdom. This is going on.
It's behind the boxes here. We're also going to see Dansta, he took some damage, so he's actually going to get a damage refill here, and that will actually lose some times because the game is just stuck there for like 1 to 2 seconds, doing nothing other than giving him life back. You can see Tylo, he jumped behind the back, like mid-air, getting the boxes killed and then jumping in. This is basically the final stretch before the big fight in Bowser's Kingdom. Just jumping up this big wall with the Pokio. And there's a very set pattern that most players like to go for. You can see Tylo's coming up to this very... Like, we're doing a pretty sick strat on this boss fight, so you'll be intrigued. One fail here could actually put one of, like a fail from Tylo could put Dansta in quite a big lead actually, because the time loss from just failing a little bit here is a lot. So here we're also doing a target acquired, where we go for Harry hit third, and then you stand in a very precise strut, get thrown back, and then you have to do a quite tricky section of moves to land on the bubble and then do a instant spin pound to get it instantly. And both runners actually got it nice.
This boss is basically the most practiced section in the game. It's actually very hard, especially when you first start out.
And it's also a big run killer. Like, just messing up something here could mean that, oh, the run is dead.
I did mess something up, but I managed to back it up, thankfully.
It was not a huge mistake where you fall down. It's mostly when you fall down, you're basically losing 25 seconds, usually.
Exactly.
Can I butt in with a quick donation?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have $15 from Fourth Strongest, giving it up to one of the names for Darkest Dungeon, this time is Kriv. And by looking at the amount we have currently got, we still need like $62 before we reach 9k just before the end of this run. The run is getting really close to the end, so make sure you do it, guys. I believe in you.
So now we'll come up to the last kingdom in the any percent. The Moon Kingdom. Where
Bowser now kidnapped Peach and took her to the moon to get married. Which is basically
so all of the plans in all the kingdoms, with going to Sand Kingdom to get the ring, going to Wooded Kingdom to get flowers, going to Luncheon Kingdom to get food, all of this collides on the moon in one big party where we're gonna go smack Bowser.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
And this is actually still very close between the two guys. A fail from anyone, or like a fail from Tylo, could actually still put Dansta in the lead, so pretty exciting race. And also really good times coming out of both. Going into Moon Kingdom. So here we do a triple jump across this big canyon. And you want to land on that ledge right there, but if you don't land there, you can just do a dive usually, and then you're up there.
We do something called vectors, which gives us more speed, and we cover more distance with.
We did that in even in Cap Kingdom actually with the frog, where you saw that the frog was turned 90, like 45 degrees all the time. That's to get more speed in the air, and we also do that with Mario most of the time that we can. But in Moon Kingdom, it's really showing because you have a lot of time in the air to really get the vector going, and you can also see a big difference in the speed. So I think we will show it over to one donation before the end.
Of course, we have another $15 from Fourth Strongest, this time for naming a character Einrog. So right now we need $47 before we reach 9k. I believe in you, chat. We can do this just before the fight ends.
You can see Tylo going for a strat where you spin throw the head, so the head will lay on the ground, and then you spin throw again, so the head will be circling around you, and that will grab the air, grab the head, while you then roll closer to Bowser, and then you're so close that you can just go up and smack right away, so Bowser doesn't start jumping around.
the hitbox of the fire here is like nothing.
Yeah.
You can actually roll over the fire.
You might remember that we explained how the hats work in Cloud Kingdom. It's basically the same here, except here there's more hats.
But
And
you still
more-
do the same strats with intentionally taking damage here on the last phase that Tylo will be coming up on. And it doesn't lose any time actually, because the health get auto-replenished without any cutscenes. Because you just take intentional damage so these hats doesn't hit you, just jump up and you get the hat. So you're done with the fight. We saved Peach, but oh no, something happened. So we're gonna do a little bit extra with like all new Mario games. The Bowser fight is not the final one, but you have to do something extra.
Now we're actually captured Bowser. He's gonna help us escape from here. That's what this section is called.
The
Okay.
escape sequence.
Yeah.
The last part of the 80%. A fail here, anywhere from like now is maybe like 30 seconds all the way to the end, could mean a 2-minute time loss from if you fail it at the end.
Yeah.
Like fail in it, like fall down or anything.
Yeah, if you die here, you respawn at the start of the whole escape section.
Where we first captured Bowser. Yeah.
So in this little 2D section, I think it's actually the only 2D section that we are even in
it is.
the whole run. You can actually hold Y and then Bowser will go faster. It was not found until like 1 year after the game was out. At least we didn't use it before that.
Well, not a year, maybe like 3 months.
Yeah, but it was not known right when the game came out.
Yeah, then a guy just came out and was like, hey,
And like nobody used it because
you
it was
can-
scary to go so fast in the 2D section.
yeah, hey guys, we can run with Bowser in the 2D section. Wow.
So now we come into the pillar room, the last room in the whole game. You have to shoot each pillar, it's 5 or 6 times?
5 times.
5 times. So we try to hit this first pillar that you can shoot early, so get early pillar. So you can instantly go to the left one and go around in a clockwise manner to get all the pillars. Philo getting first pillar, but Dansta having a little trouble with it.
Okay, so we're actually coming up on time here very soon. After I've broken this box right here, time is coming up. And when I shoot out of the pylon, then the run will be over. Yeah,
You have to press here.
yeah, I know. And time. Oh,
That's a really good time. A 101.20 from Tylo.
damn.
Both runners really, really close here at the end.
Nice.
Only 16 seconds between them. So
Alright.
that's a really close race.
That was
Also, we hit $9,000.
Yes, I just wanted to
Hey.
interrupt you because we've just hit $9,000 during this run. Anonymous donates 47 that we needed, and now we are at 9K. Thank you so much, everybody. And once again, round of applause for the great runners. The race was really, really close.
Yeah. Just a couple of shoutouts before we leave. First of all, shoutouts to Tyrone18 and Mitch, who are currently battling for the world record. Right now, Mitch is the one who is holding the record as of currently. Those guys have been fighting for the world record for, I don't know, almost
Like a
Why?
few months at least.
a very long time. So yeah, shout out to those guys, and shout out if you want to start learning this game, a good place to start is to check out Small Ant One's tutorials. But yeah, if you want to see any more Super Mario Odyssey speedruns, you can check out me or Dansta on Twitch, or any of the other great runners of this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Thank you for this time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for all the donations as well.
Yes.